both policies.
Okay. Did you hear the question I just asked you?
Yes,
Can you please answer it?
I did. They're not both policies. Policy 172 is the policy we have to follow.
The informational bulletin you don't have to follow?
It's just informational.
Who writes the informational bulletins?
I have no idea.
But you don't have to follow them.
They're just for information.
Did you hear my question?
We follow the policies.
Do you have to follow them? Do you have to
policies?
follow the informational bulletins?
No, we're ordered to follow the policies.
What does U//LES stand for? Do you know?
No.
Do people have the right to photograph the outside of the building? This building, this Cook County Courthouse?
Yes.
Okay. If I understand your testimony correctly, though, if they're doing that, and any police officer subjectively believes that they're acting suspicious, that person could be detained. That's your testimony, right?
Yes.
So even if they're not actually doing anything suspicious, if there's something that they're doing which the officer subjectively believes is suspicious, he gets to detain that person, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment, by the way?
Vaguely.
What does it say in your own vague terms?
No illegal search and seizure.
Right. Unless there's
Probable cause.
or
Okay. That's about all I know.
okay, all right, good enough. He said that's about all I know. All right. Now there was somebody else who asked you the same question that I just asked you about your familiarity with the Fourth Amendment. Who's in this room right now? Do you know who that person was? My client, Ms. Bergquist, asked you that, didn't she?
I don't recall.
She asked you, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment? You don't remember that?
No.
Okay. Did you watch any videos to prepare for today's deposition?
No.
Since the lawsuit was filed, have you watched any videos?
Yes.
Which videos have you seen?
The video that was posted online and Sergeant Larson's body cam.
Excellent. And on that video, you don't remember you asking Ms. Bergquist, I'm sorry, you don't remember Ms. Bergquist asking you if you're familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
I don't recall.
All right. If I tell you that your answer was, oh great, why do we always get the crazies, would you dispute that?
No.
Does that sound like something you would say to somebody?
That's something I did say that day, yes.
So you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember saying that in response to the question, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
No, I just remember saying it.
Why is it that you felt she was one of the crazies?
When people act in a way that is not in their best interest.
How was she acting that was not in her best interest?
Well, at any time, all she had to do is identify herself. We could have done our report and everything could have gone the own.
And if somebody were to threaten you that unless you comply with their demands, they're going to put you in handcuffs, would you automatically necessarily comply with their demands?
Yes.
No object.
You would.
Calls for speculation.
He was able to answer. So you would. So even if there's somebody who is acting as a law enforcement officer, giving you an unlawful order, threatening you with detainment or arrest or 90 days jail, if you don't comply with their unlawful demands, you would still comply?
Yes.
Alrighty. Is that what you expected her to do, to comply?
Yes.
What lawful basis was there for you to demand her ID? Identification.
You're right. We were looking for identification, find out why she was there and what she was doing.
Did you hear the question I just asked you?
That was my answer.
What question did you just answer?
What justified asking for her ID?
What lawful basis was there for you to ask for her ID?
I don't know.
What lawful basis was there for you to demand her ID?
I don't know.
What lawful basis was there for you to put her in handcuffs in response to her not giving you her ID?
I don't know.
Was there one?
I don't know.
Doesn't there have to be a lawful basis for you to put somebody in handcuffs?
If we're detaining them for investigation, then we're going to put them in handcuffs for officer security, yes.
For what lawful basis? What lawful basis was there for you to put her in handcuffs?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Would you agree with me that the only time you get to arrest somebody is if you have probable cause that they committed a crime?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. What crime did you have probable cause to believe that Ms. Bergquist committed?
At the time, I believe she was violating the judicial order.
At the time?
And was acting suspiciously, and for that reason, I detained her for further investigation.
Okay. I'm not sure you understood my question. My question was, what crime did you have probable cause to believe she committed?
At that time, I believe she was violating judicial order. We believe she was acting suspiciously, and we detained her for further investigation.
Okay. Well, you arrested her, right?
Detained.
You didn't arrest her?
We detained her for investigation.
You didn't ever at any point arrest her?
We never processed any arrests, no.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you if you at any point arrested her. I didn't ask you about processing arrests.
No object. Calls for a legal conclusion.
Did you arrest her?
We detained her.
Did you hear my question?
I did.
Did you arrest her? It's a yes or no.
No.
What's the difference between arrest and detain?
I don't know.
Okay. So even though you don't know the difference between detain and arrest, your testimony here today is that you detained her but did not arrest her?
Yes.
Is there any training required to become a lieutenant in Cook County? So yes or no?
Yes.
That's good. What training did you get before you had to become a lieutenant? Well, actually, let me strike that question and ask you this one. As a lieutenant, you're a supervisor to other people, right?
Yes.
Okay, because you work in the Cook County Sheriff's Office, right?
Yes.
And that's a paramilitary organization, is it
Yes.
not? Okay, so there's a rank, right?
Yes.
And there's a chain of command.
Yes.
And lieutenants are pretty high up on that chain of command, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how many people at any point would you say you have control over in that chain of command?
In this facility?
Anywhere in Cook County?
Well, that would vary by what facility I was in.
How many people answer to you in this entire county?
Just this facility.
Let's say just this facility, sure.
55.
Okay, so 55 people answer to you. What would you do if one of those people said to you, what's the difference between arrest and detain? What would your answer be?
We'd call legal.
Mr. Gorman, seated to your left?
No. Sheriff has their own legal.
Oh, okay. Their own legal who helps them understand things like the difference between arrest and detain?
Yes.
Gotcha. Was there a lawful basis to handcuff her?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that lawful basis?
Officer safety.
Gotcha. Okay, now in order to detain somebody, would you agree with me that you need reasonable suspicion that the person's committing a crime?
Yes.
Okay, great. What crime did you have reasonable suspicion to believe Ms. Bergquist was committing when you detained her?
We believe she was violating the judicial order for the building.
The judicial order which said you're not allowed to take pictures in a building,
Yes.
because you thought it said in and around the building.
Yes.
But in reality, taking pictures outside the building is not included in that judicial order, is it?
Found out that later.
Is it? It's not?
No.
Good. So, was your detainment of Ms. Bergquist lawful or unlawful?
No object again. It calls for a legal conclusion.